Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. I'm Sally from Sally Stampers, and today I'm going to show you how to make this long, slim hanging box which actually contains a yummy chocolate bar. When my children were young, I bought from a shop some boxes that were probably roughly this big that had the advent numbers on, and I would then buy chocolate bars or little gifts to put inside them, but I was always limited to the box size, which restricted obviously what gifts I could put inside. So I wished that I'd have known about Stampin' Up then and had the opportunity to make boxes that would actually fit the products. Although my children are a little bit too old for that now, I don't think they'd be too old to have the odd chocolate bar hanging off the tree, so they can just have the odd treat now and again. So I'm going to show you how to make this one. So to start off with, you need a piece of either DSP or cardstock that measures 9 inches by 4 inches. I'm actually using the Fancy Frost Speciality DSP on this one. There's so many different patterns and I just love how it's embossed, and you don't need to add too much to it to make it look any prettier. So 9 inches by 4 inches is the size of your DSP. Obviously we're going to then bring in our scoreboard, and so with the 9 inches across the top we're going to score at 3/4 and 8 1/4 and rotate, and then with the 4 inches across the top we're going to score at 1 inch, 1 3/4, 2 3/4 and 3 1/2. And again, as you know, with all of our projects we're then going to fold and burnish our score lines. Now when you do fold these and burnish them, don't press on as hard as you normally would. Obviously this pattern is embossed on, and if you press on too hard you're just going to flatten all of that embossing, which will obviously not make it look as pretty. So just do it relatively gently, just enough to reinforce those lines. Okay, so then we're going to cut our tops and bottoms. So we're just going to cut straight up these score lines to that horizontal score line, and then when you get to the small one at the end we're just going to cut him away and also cut a small wedge off the corner there, because this will be the tab that you're going to adhere your box. So just cutting up all the tabs. Okay, so we need some adhesive, so I'm going to use Fast Fuse, which I'm just going to roll down the bottom. Okay, so obviously our crease is at the back, so we make sure that we fold in the sides, technically the back, and the front last, with a little bit of adhesive on. And then put your chocolate bar in. Don't do what I did and make it and then forget, so you have to undo everything. Okay, so on my original one you'll see that I had the hanging loop at the top. This isn't actually adhered at any point, it's just fed through some holes. And the way I'm doing that is using the 1/8 of an inch handheld punch. So I'm going to start off with punching a hole in the centre of that first one, and to make sure that all my holes are lined up, good old pencil, and I'm just simply going to fold it in, fold it in and make your little mark just where the hole is, and then when you open it up you'll have your pencil marks so that you can punch the hole. So I'm just going to go around, butterfingers today, go around and punch all of the holes, do apologise for the diggers. I seem to be fated by diggers every time I try and film. You can guarantee there's some sort of digger outside. Okay, so once you've got all your holes punched, it's then time to get your ribbon. And I'm using this beautiful Blushing Bride on this one. The Blushing Bride glitter ribbon that comes in the combo pack with the silver one. So tie your loop, which will obviously depend on how big your tree branches are or where you want to hang it as to how big you make your loop. And then you simply start, and this is a little bit of a fiddly bit, you simply start just feeding it through the holes. And like I said, unfortunately it is a tiny bit fiddly, but once you sort of get going with it, you could obviously make the hole slightly bigger if you wanted to. It's typical today that I just actually can't do it. Let's try this one. There we go. We're on a roll. Okay, so first one in, tuck it down. And remember that you need to do your shoulder bits first, as I always call them. Because as you would normally fold your lid in to adhere it, you fold it the same way with the ribbon. So that's two. Get in there. Now just to confirm the back is there, so I'll do that one next. Like I said, it is a little bit fiddly. You could use twine on this, I guess. That would obviously be easier because you could thread that through a needle, like a darning needle or something. But as I say, this, albeit fiddly, you do get there in the end. There we go. Finally done it. Pulled a bit of a thread on the ribbon, but I'm sure you will make yours a lot nicer. Okay, so there's your ribbon on the top. So obviously you could leave it like that if you wanted to, but obviously we don't. We like to do some stamping and we like to embellish our packages. So sticking with the Blushing Bride theme, I've got some of my Blushing Bride glimmer paper and I've got some white cardstock. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment onto Whisper White with Blushing Bride. Sort that out in a moment. And you obviously could use your trimmer if you wished, but I actually like to do these bits by hand. I'm relatively confident with my scissors enough to cut a straight line. Like I said, if you're not, you could always use your trimmer. And this probably isn't going to be straight now that I've said all of that. Certainly the bottom bit isn't. Okay, I'm fairly happy with that. Okay, so once you've done that, I'm actually going to use my fuse to adhere this to the glimmer paper. Just really because obviously with it being quite a rough surface, it can struggle to adhere. So I'm going to use fast fuse so that I'm happy that it's good and stuck. And again, just using my scissors just to cut that layer over the top. Okay, couple of dimensionals on the back. Obviously you need to put them in the, you need to put them in the centre so that they go and adhere onto your box. And I'm just going to stick that one there. And just to be slightly different, and I think I'm going to give this one to my son, and I think my daughter can have this one as it's pink, I have stamped already and die cut my embellishments. So I have 3 holly leaves that are stamped from Hang Your Stocking, Obviously I've stamped the holly leaves in garden green onto garden green, and die cut them out with the Christmas stocking thinlits, which are just brilliant because there is just so much variety in here. You obviously have a Christmas tree, you have all different sections for your stockings, snowflakes, sentiments, the loop for hanging your stocking, just fabulous. And obviously the berries, which I've decided to cut out in pink also. So I'm going to use some glue dots just to put these on. So, whoops. Okay, so this isn't going to work. Nothing's working today. Okay, so we'll have one just at the top. The only thing about this is you do end up covered in glitter, whether that's a good thing or not. And then the same again with my holly leaves. Just going to pop a glue dot on them. I think the reason the glue dots were struggling to adhere to the glitter paper is because it is slightly smooth and shiny on the back, but I think once you've got it on, it is good. So just pop these holly leaves on. And like I say, this is what I love about hang your stocking, because you don't have to use the stocking. You can use whatever you like. But aren't those pretty? Lovely glittery gifts just hanging off a tree. And I think it also just shows off this beautiful paper. All the information for these are on my blog, details of which are below. And obviously it's the 1st of December, so now's the time to really be thinking about getting on doing those Christmas presents, Christmas cards, and maybe even making your own advents. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.